Hi, everyone. All right. So happy morning to you. Happy afternoon to you. Happy evening to you, wherever you are seeing this from. Thought I would just give you a couple of things to be thinking about. So, one, I wanted to address something that a couple of people have asked me about recently. If you know me in this work, and by the way, I'm Anise Kavanaugh. I'm the founder of the IEP method, which stands for Intentional Energetic Presence. I'm also the creator of the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative. I'm the CEO of Active Choices, which we've been doing for 23, almost 24 years now. And I wrote the books Contagious Culture and Contagious You. So I've basically spent the last 22 years, 23 years plus really devoting to helping leaders and their organizations show up in a way that really creates the ultimate, performance, innovation, retention, leadership, culture, all that good stuff. So that's been me over a very, very long period of time. So one of the questions that has come up recently, especially for people who have followed this work for a long period of time, is that they're noticing that when I'm talking about this work on these videos, when I talk about this work in our executive forums and in our sessions, a lot of times when people are brand new to the work, I've started to talk about it more from the standpoint of being an organizational leader who is really wanting to create sustainable, that's a key word, sustainable change in your organization around leadership, learning and development, culture, attraction and retention, all that good stuff. I'm speaking now in the framing of you as an organizational leader who has got the responsibility to figure out how to do that in your company more effectively, as opposed to how I've often spoken about it in the past, although these things, you cannot take them apart. They actually work very well together. How I've talked about it in the past has always been speaking to you as leader in terms of how do you show up? How do you bring the presence to influence those decisions? How do you take care of yourself so you can lead as powerfully as possible? You. So you'll notice, it was funny because I got a really great inquiry the other day. Somebody just noticed, they said, hey, I noticed that instead of giving us all the tools of what to do for ourselves all the time, you're talking at another level now for us to look at how to do it for our company. And this is true. So I just want to acknowledge that this is true. Now, when you're in our programs, when you're working with my team, when you're working with me, when you're in the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative, we are all about you, and making sure that you've got the tools needed in order to create the impact you want to have and have the sustainability you personally want to have and to be the kind of leader you want to be 100%. But when we're talking about looking at creating organizational change and really helping you as the leader who's responsible for culture and leadership and innovation, whatever it is, when we're talking about that from an organizational standpoint, we're going to talk about it in a slightly different perspective and a slightly different frame to help you start to look at how do you think about this differently. How do you make the business case for getting support if you need it? And how do you actually start to create sustainable change that is beyond you, not just you as leader, but actually for your whole organization? So I hope that is helpful. I hope that connects the dots for people. We're talking about the same stuff. I'm talking about the IEP method, which is your intentional energetic presence. I'm talking about the Positive Energy Workplace Initiative. I'm talking about creating more innovation, a culture, really truly a culture of innovation, a culture of accountability, a culture of leadership, and really a culture of positively contagious energy in your workforce so that your people can do all the good stuff they're here to do. So, all right, I just wanted to speak to that. We'll make sure that this video is available when we get those questions in the future. We'll put it somewhere on our site as well. But we're talking about the same thing. The business, the work, it's all the same. But what we have done is as we've grown as an organization, as we've started to scale this work in bigger organizations over the last 22 years, we've really learned that in order to create sustainable change and to help you create sustainable change, we need to be looking at this in all these different lenses. So there's you as leader, you as leader of you as leader of your team, you as leader of your organization, and then there's also your organizational leadership and the workforce as a whole. So, okay, I think that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to leave it there for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually offer you an invitation to come to one of our executive forums. So we do executive forums once a month now. Sometimes we do them twice a month, depending on what's happening. If things are really, really bonkers for people out there, we'll do them twice. These events are for executive and senior leaders. We don't charge to come to them. They are by invitation only because we want to make sure that you're in the right room and that we're having the right conversations at the right level. And so if you're interested in joining us, our next one is coming up next week on February 22nd, and it is looking at how to determine three workplace indicators to help you that you can look at in terms of how they're influencing innovation and performance in your company. So the official title, let me tell you the official title of it. See, mid-quarter one pulse check, how to assess the top 3 workplace culture indicators influencing innovation and performance. That is a mouthful. It's going to be a very rich session. We schedule these for an hour, but we let you out at least 5 minutes early so you can get a reboot and go to your next thing. So we won't take more than 55 minutes of your time. It's not a pitch fest at all. We're just there to really talk about this with other business leaders, to share some best practices, to share what we're noticing at ACI, to share some of our guidelines around how do you want to think about that. And then, yes, of course, to let you know that we are there and available to you should you want or need our support now or in the future. So that is the intention of these sessions. You can apply for an invitation right here. Let's see here. You go right there. You can actually register for an invitation. And we have a couple of questions we ask you to answer just so we make sure that the conversation is as rich as possible. And then we will hopefully see you there. If the February 22nd doesn't work, again, check out the calendar. We do many of these throughout the year, and we would love to have you at any and all of them. So we look forward to being with you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.